to the Big Kid Show, the notorious B to the I to the G Kid Show, coming at you with another Sunday fun day. Don't be afraid to drink along at home. I am your host, Big Nick, and with me for another action-packed G.I. Joe Kung Fu Grip episode, a show that in the podcast world, it's like having a never-ending Contra spread gun. Once again, I am flanked by two deadly assassins, and their weapon of choice is a Shure SM7B microphone. That's right. Here is Sweetwater Mark and the man known on the mean streets of West Cincinnati simply as Mr. B. We are here to set you all straight once again. Today is another magical and fun-filled exploration of the greatest game of all, the game of life. So come and live with us a little bit, would ya? Today we are playing 3 questions. And today's topic, vegans and health nuts, turn off your phones and listening devices now, as I am afraid that you may never recover.
You've been warned.
Once you've crossed this line. That's because today we are talking about junk foods, and we have 3 thought-provoking questions to steer the joyous conversation that is about to be had. Today's 3 questions are, number 1, your favorite movie theater snack as a kid and your favorite as an adult. Number 2, junk food item that you miss the most, or maybe it no longer exists. And 3, your favorite adult indulgence drink of all time. Now you know the questions, and our big kids know the questions, but nobody knows the answers. So here we are once again. Thank you all for joining us today for another Sunday fun day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your other big kid friends about the greatest show of all time. All right, first up, let's talk with Sweetwater Mark. That's right. He's got a sweet tooth. He knows a little bit about junk food. And so we go to the sweet waters of Marcusburg, Ohio, to talk to Mark and ask him, Mark, what is your favorite movie theater snack as a child when you were a little kid? And now what is your favorite as a big kid adult?
Marcusburg population you, bro.
Just a wee lad.
So this was pretty easy for me. There was one candy in particular that always hit the spot for me. And it was one that like kind of dominated probably a lot of my childhood in general, even outside of the movie theater. But inside the movie theater, I think every single movie theater I went to carried it. So it was very easy to get my hands on. And it was also a little bit filling. If I was actually a little hungry, no, I'm not talking about Snickers, but if I'm a little hungry and I've got a sweet tooth, it can kind of solve both problems at once. And that would be the peanut M&M. The peanut M&M for me, just, I don't know, man. When the fine people invented that candy with the perfect blend of the single peanut, obviously, with the perfect amount of chocolate, the nice crisp candy shell, or you can switch it up and you can just roll it around in your mouth for a couple minutes and it kind of softens up a little bit. That chocolate gets a little melty underneath. It's heavenly, man. It's heavenly. And you get a little bit of protein, right? It's not much, but there's a little bit of protein in those peanuts. So I don't feel too guilty eating it. But no, as a kid, it absolutely was peanut M&Ms for me.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand, baby.
That's right. That's right. Do you want me to jump right to adults, Big Nick? Just go ahead and cover both gamuts.
Before you move on, I'd like to give a shout out and also a little appreciation for your childhood pick, because I too, with you, not my pick, but I love the peanut M&M. It's my favorite in the M&M brand. When the good people over at M&M's decided to impregnate that M&M with the peanut, they were onto something. They were onto something.
They really were. No, they hit it on the money, man. And again, when you think movie theater candy, you're getting the big box. Like,
the big
one. I mean, it's not like the small box. So with that matters with that peanut M&Ms because they're a little bit bigger. I mean, it's about the size of 2 or 3 regular size M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the jumbo size. It's important.
And right now for MLB baseball fans, you can get the M&M with your team logo stamped on the front right now. So if you're a fan of the Reds, the Pirates, the Twins, what have you, you can get some MLB on your M&Ms right now.
taste of the team. So,
Mm.
all right. So that's how I'm rolling on the kids front.
Mhm.
Adult front, it has shifted a little bit. And I think I've already made this my son's favorite kids movie theater candy at this point. This one though, there's some specifications that have to be in place. So this is, it's my favorite, but it can be a little challenging at times. So it is the Swedish fish. I love some Swedish fish.
Mm.
Here's the catch.
What's wrong with American fish?
It's gotta be. Well, it's just like American cheese. Nothing good has come out of American on the food front, unfortunately. The Swedish fish have to be fresh. I don't know if you guys have ever had like a half stale.
I have, yep.
Or a stale, where any type of like toughness to it, I won't even eat it. Like it's not even worth the calories, the sugar, whatever it is.
I'm with you. Fresh fish.
But if you get that like super soft where you bite into it and it's not hard to like bite off a little piece of it, that is possibly one of the greatest candies ever. Now I like gummy, chewy type candies, so it's kind of where I'm coming from. But yeah, Swedish fish, I can make them last. I can take little bites off of a single fish and, make them last a little bit as an adult.
Do you bite their heads off when you're eating them?
I do. I bite the head right off of it. And the irony is I don't eat fish in real life. I'm not a seafood guy. So the Swedish fish is the only fish that I eat.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So that's how I get my fish oil. I eat it all in Swedish fish. We all know it's loaded heavy in fish oil.
Healthy,
A vitamin.
healthy. Yep.
Yeah, it's practically a daily
But
vitamin.
good call. There's a big difference between a fresh one and one that's been sitting on the shelf for 3 months.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Huge difference. So, but yeah, so peanut M&Ms for the kids, back in the day for wee Sweetwater Mark, and Swedish fish for today is how we're rolling, boys.
It's a very mature choice for you.
Thank you.
Mr. B, what say you? You're at the movie theater. You got some snacks. What are you getting as tiny Mr. B, and what are you getting as a full-size Mr. B?
Gotcha. So as a kid, of course, when we'd go, and you go up to the counter and they have all those cool candies in there, you're like, oh man. And usually I just remember my dad be like, we're not getting any of that shit.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
Because even if you remember, it was extra pricey because you're at the movie theater, but still as a kid, all I wanted was a huge thing of popcorn.
Mm.
So I know that's boring and standard, but the difference was, I don't even know if it's technically butter, the butter flavored topping. I wanted them to just dump that stuff all over it.
Yeah.
Even you could get them to they'd put a little popcorn on, butter, little popcorn, butter, and that way it got all the layers. So as a kid, I wanted all that. Probably, I'm sure it was 2 steps off from being like motor oil, but that's what I wanted.
They do the butter in the middle trick where you do a little bit.
Well, so this guy would put some popcorn in and then do a bunch of butter.
Yep.
Put a little bit more and then shake it up so it would be
very wise,
blasted with butter.
He's a pro popcorner.
Yeah. So yeah, that was always my go-to as a kid. Usually with my brother, we would probably always want our own, because you're not sharing with your little brother.
Yeah.
But you don't want everybody's hands in the bag too.
Yeah. So I could take down one of those giant buckets, no problem. Usually it would be done before the movie started.
I'm not a huge popcorn guy, in general, but there is something about movie popcorn that just tastes, it hits a little different.
Yep.
Yeah. So my only issue, so I actually
tastes like nostalgia.
I just went recently and we got a large popcorn, or no, I think it was a medium, and it was $12.
Yep.
And I was like, God, that is the best racket out there is movie popcorn.
That's why you got to pop your own and then stick it in your wife's purse.
It cost them less than $1 to make that popcorn. They're charging. I don't even
think it's that much.
12 exactly. So
yeah.
So go ahead, Big Nick.
Corn too, and I'm glad that you mentioned the butter, because one thing I've always wondered about, right? Unlike Mark, I'm a big seafood guy. I enjoy some seafood, especially shellfish. And I'll tell you what, you put some lobster in front of this guy. Oh my goodness. I'll take down the whole fleet. But you got that drawn butter that you can dip on the lobster tail or dip the lobster tail into it. And everybody loves the drawn butter. I've always wondered, why don't we give the movie theater popcorn butter a shot? Get it to overthrow the drawn butter, right? Let me dip the lobster tail into the movie theater. Can we sell containers?
I'm sure if you looked at it, it says contains some butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not even butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah. But as a kid, I thought it was delicious. As an adult, not so much. So my adult choice then
there we
is usually I don't even want a snack. Like if it was up to me, we were kind of joking. I would just want to take in like a sandwich. Or, because I'm just like, I want, a cheesesteak would be awesome for me going into a movie.
In a movie theater?
Yeah, I'd just eat a cheesesteak.
I have a porterhouse medium rare.
No, steak's too difficult,
some
man.
Asparagus, garlic, mashed potatoes.
You can't cut that in the dark. Sandwich, you can't mess up a sandwich in the dark.
You'd be dropping Philly cheesesteak all over your lap.
I feel like the last time we went, I think I got a hot dog.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, it's not a sandwich, but it's close. But usually I would just want something like that. Like give me a meal.
A hot dog at the movie theater, that means you're eating roller food, right?
Oh, baby.
It's been on the roller all day, baby.
Yeah.
I tell you what, years ago, I can't remember the name of the place, and I'm sure they have these throughout some of the other bigger cities spread across this greatest of nations. But they had this place, and they would only show like second run movies and not even like good second run movies. I went one time, and I think the movie that we chose was Speed 2. Because who doesn't want to see Speed 2?
Of course.
The answer is America does not want to see Speed 2. So I went and saw Speed 2 for the first time, and it was like, I don't know, a couple months after it came out, and it was a complete flop. I don't even remember. I think it took place on a boat because they're like, the bus thing worked before. Let's do a boat.
Can't double it up.
I couldn't tell you anything about the movie, but what I could tell you is the place that we went to ran this deal where you didn't have the traditional movie theater chairs, the seating, but you still had that theater seating with you have the levels, but in place of that you would have kind of like a two-seater, a two-top, right? Restaurant two-top kind of deal.
And they would serve
little table, and you get a little seat on each side, and they would bring out a waiter or waitress would come over and take an order from you periodically throughout the movie. And I think I got like a slice of pizza, a pitcher of beer, a bag of popcorn, and I just sat there feeding my face the whole time, and you didn't have to get up and miss any of the movie by standing in line. And that's going to factor heavily into the big nitpick. But when I was a kid, my choice, and I shared a similar situation as you, where my parents were like, look, bro, you're lucky enough that we're taking your dumbass to a movie. Don't dare ask for anything once we get
$9 snack.
Right. Yep. Right. It like my parents would have to get like a nice Christmas bonus for me to get a snack when I went to the movie theater. But you know what? But you look, I was thankful. They were good people, and I was just happy to be going and seeing a great movie. Right. So usually if if I got to choose anything, it was one single item, right? And you kind of know how it goes. Like popcorn, you kind of need the soda. You just can't be wolfing down popcorn all day. Yeah. That stuff is salty, baby. You need something to wash it down. So I couldn't pick popcorn because I had nothing to wash it down. You also don't want to just be sitting there sucking down soda the whole time with nothing to eat. So I never would pick soda. So I would go more of a Sweetwater Mark route, and I always went Juji fruits back in the day.
There you go.
Juju fruits.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what.
Those are some teeth stickers.
Oh, yeah. They are sticking to your teeth.
Your dentist hates those.
Man, and because they would stick to your teeth and you would have to really chew through them, they would last you the whole 2-hour movie, that one single box, and they were delicious. I think there was like 4 or 5 different kind of fruit flavors in that deal. And actually I looked them up, and they're surprisingly healthy.
Really?
No, they're not, Mark.
I was going to say, Gelatin and sugar.
Yeah.
No, they're not healthy at all, Mark.
Mark's like, yes, I can finally have everything now.
No, those were too sticky. Like, I love gummy stuff. Those are too sticky for me.
I looked up the ingredients. They are horrible.
Gelatin and straight sugar.
There's an item in there that I used to wash and wax my car with, the carnauba wax.
Carnauba wax.
In Juji fruits. And why is red dye 40 so delicious that they have to put it in every single thing?
In everything. I'd rather just have clear candy. Just give me clear candy. I don't need.
Give me that red 40, son.
We've talked about it before on the show. I love Gatorade Zero. And they're like, hey, we hooked you up. 0 calories, 0 sugar. And then you look at the ingredients, it's still loaded with horrible shit. Yeah. And a lot of the dyes. And it's like, guys.
That's what the dyes is what kills you, man.
You're right. Just give me, I can drink a colorless drink. I don't drink with my eyes. I drink with my mouth like a normal person. And guess what? I drink water all the time, and that has no color to it, and I'm still sucking it down.
Here's an idea, Big Nick. Maybe we need to coin the big kid energy drink or Gatorade. Call it diamond drink, and all of them are clear, but it could be different. Cherry diamond. It could be lime, diamond lime.
Big kid power up. That's our drink right there.
Yeah.
There you go. Bam. No, I'm with you.
Trademark.
Patent pending. Yeah. So I looked up what it takes to make a Juji fruit, and don't look at that list because you won't purchase another box of them. But I still to this day, I love them now as an adult. Again, one item. Look, if I'm sitting at home, Big Nick on the couch, I'm going Mr. B's route 100%. I'm going popcorn, cold beer.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
And look, I don't want to sound like, I don't want to be the old man that's shaking his fist at a black cloud. But
get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. But have we reached the point in our lives where, and for me, frankly, it happened about 10 years ago, but have we reached the point in our lives where the pause button has overtaken the big screen and the wonderful sound system that they put in the movie? Like the ability to get up and urinate whenever I so damn well please, or get up and grab a beer from the fridge is paramount over top of the movie theater experience anymore for me. And so I enjoy watching the movies at home. That said, at the theater, I can't drink beer. Why? I'll miss between standing in the line to get a second or third beer and then going to the restroom twice. I will miss 30 minutes of the movie. And
see what you do is you stand up. We have to say, hit pause.
Hit pause. Everybody okay if we pause here?
I'll be back in 5 to 10.
I'm just going to wear a diiper and let it flow.
I'm not sure if it's a 1 or a 2. We'll find out. No,
all right, I'm back.
I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Oh, you skipped it.
Yeah.
Nick, I think the thing is TVs have gotten so much bigger and sound systems have gotten so much better at home that it closes that gap. You know what I mean? And like
the convenience to watch it from home. And like you said, you can watch it now on a 75-inch TV with, subwoofer and all that stuff. You're just like, boom.
And I took, like I said, I just went to the movies recently and I took my kids to go see Inside Out 2. And they've got the recliner seats, like the leather recliner seats, right? Really nice. The problem is they put the barrier in front of you so tall that my son couldn't even see over the barrier from the seat.
Oh,
so
really?
It's like
That's a bummer.
every row is like completely sectioned off with like a 3-foot wall in front of it. And I get having a little bit of a wall for some privacy, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It's fun to be at the theater, but the home experience is pretty nice these days,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going to sporting events.
Usually, if the only time I would want to go to the theater is if it's something where I want the super dramatic effect. Like, God, it's probably been 6 or 7 years. I saw that movie 1917.
Yeah, see that,
and that was a good one to watch in the theater with all the sound and all that. But most movies, I'm like, I'll just wait till it comes out and I'll get it off Amazon for $20.
Yep, absolutely.
Did you know with Juji fruits that some of them are shaped like vegetables?
He's still on the juju fruits.
I think they're as good for you as those vegetables that they're shaped like as well.
So listen to this. Sink your teeth into fruity flavor with 2 different shareable snacks. Juji fruits trick your mind with a wild assortment of shapes. The gummy asparagus, tomato, grape, banana, pineapple, raspberry, and pea pods shapes are only a tease. The key to their true flavor lies in the color.
Made with pure asparagus puree.
Now they're just lying to us over there at the
in
Juju.
Green 7.
Juju Fruits is one of our sponsors.
Yep. They weren't before, they are now.
Yeah, because we said nothing but good things about them today. So back to Big Nick, not Little Nick at the movie theater. I too, Sweetwater Mark, you got me, buddy. I've graduated from Juji Fruits to Swedish Fish as my choice when I'm at the movie theater. They are far less chewy. In fact, the Juji fruit tastes like somebody left the damn bag of Swedish fish open for 48 hours. I love the Swedish Fish. And here's the thing about them. Like, they sprinkle crack in those things? Because
they must.
I do. I tried to find the ingredients, and they on their website, they booted me to a third party. So I don't like, it's like, you want to know the ingredients? Talk to our lawyers.
Exactly. We're going to need a subpoena.
It's the 13 spices from KFC. You could never know what they are.
Oh, wait, I found it. There is carnauba wax in the Swedish Fish as well. But it appears
a lot of red 40.
It appears that there's a lot less carnauba wax, which maybe that's why they're less chewy than the Juji fruit. But the thing here is they're less chewy. And do you get I've seen where they have the multicolored bags, but I think the most prominent bag is just you're getting a red fish time and time again.
Plastic red.
When I'm eating those things, I'm always like, okay, this is the last one. And then I eat 4 more. And then I'm like, okay, I'll have 1 more. And then I eat 3 more. And I'm like, all right, you know what, one or 2 more. And then I will eat damn near the whole bag in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Like when you literally you eat the first one, and like I have to take small bites. Otherwise I'll just like devour the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I eat the whole bag, and then I go home and I cry in the shower, much like Ace Ventura did after he figured out that Finkel was Einhorn and Einhorn was Finkel.
I mean, there's 25 grams of sugar in 5 fish. Yeah. So you figure in a movie bag, there's probably 25 fish, something like that. So I mean, you're easily pushing 100+ grams of sugar.
There's plenty of fish in the ocean, my friends.
Don't go to sleep. You're not going to go to sleep after that movie.
No, you're not. No, you're going to be up for a solid 72 hours. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. And then he realized he made out with Finkel. Nobody wants to make out with Finkel. Not even Mrs. Finkel. All right, here we go.
Real quick, hold on, Nick. I got to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
saw Dan.
Did you guys know they make an Oreo Swedish Fish flavor cream version?
No, but that sounds gross.
That sounds disgusting.
I was on their website and I saw that they have all these like fun recipes that you can make with Swedish Fish. Let's not go down that road because we may never return. All right. Number 2, Sweetwater Mark, junk food item that you miss the most. Either maybe it's no longer sold, or for some reason you can't find it, or maybe this item exist only in a place that no longer is around. Maybe that's a restaurant or some type of establishment that you don't have access to anymore. What is that junk food item that you miss the most?
So this was tough. I had quite a few that I had to kind of narrow down, but once I saw this one particular one, it immediately jumped well above the others. I couldn't believe I forgot about it. And then I immediately got really sad that I now remember that I can't get this, and I can almost remember how it tastes. And I would have a nice celebrity personality introduce us for it, but the celebrity that for this brand was arrested back in 2014. But you put the pudding in the pop, the pudding pop.
Those
boys.
are no longer around. It's weird that they're not around.
It bothers me because as soon as I saw the box, I was doing some research with the research team, and I saw the box, and I was like, "Hey, you know that the GIF of what is it, Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's got the drink and he starts snapping. He's like, hey, right there." that's what I was like, hey, right there. They had the vanilla, they had a chocolate, and I wanted to say that. So at one point they had a banana, but the vanilla and the chocolate. Like, if you remember, they had like the slightest coating of like ice around the outside. And it was like, man, the minute that you broke that barrier and got to the inside of that pudding pop,
Flavor Town.
Heaven. Flavor Town. Absolute heaven, man. Like those, to me, I probably would be still crushing those if they made them today, and I'm kind of shocked that they haven't made a comeback. I did hear that they, like other companies, have tried, but haven't.
They sold like crazy back in the day, and the one that you missed, Sweetwater, was my favorite. Was the vanilla chocolate swirl?
The swirl, equally as delicious.
And so Bill Cosby, on his list of things that he loves, it's okay. Number 1, Quaaludes. Number 2, Spanish Fly. Number 3, Jello pudding pops.
You put the pudding in the pop.
See, I looked at that one too, and I thought I read something like at some point it was costing them too much money to make. Like they were making money, but I thought I read something like it was like they would have to charge so much per box or something. I don't know if that's accurate, but yeah, I mean, they sold like crazy in the 80s and 90s, and then suddenly they just disappeared. So
yeah, no, they were definitely delicious. So I got to look up to see. There's got to be a way to make like some homemade versions, although it's not easily as convenient.
I tell you what, I don't know if my parents bought them because they were on sale, but it was not my like favorite item until it went away. Like until it was like 10 years after I hadn't had one, I woke up with like a craving for pudding pops one day, and I was like,
distance makes the heart grow fonder.
I was like, no big deals, right? I'll go to the grocery and I'll find them in the frozen food section. And I walked up and down the aisles in pure disbelief that there was not a single box of pudding pops available. And I'm talking, this was like 20 years ago. Like, so they went away a while ago. Maybe 20 years is a stretch, but I woke up craving them one day, and I set out on an adventure, and I never found what I was looking for.
The research team just handed me some information here. So it looks like 5 years after they made their debut, they were bringing in $300 million a year in sales for pudding pops.
That's pretty good.
But General Foods, I guess, was new to the frozen food game. So they didn't really know how to make money off of the process. So going back to what you said, Mr. B, probably a cost to produce and just not, you know what I mean? Not make it. They basically didn't make any profit off of that.
General Foods, General Mills, who was it?
General Foods.
General Foods was new to frozen treats and did not know how to make money.
Yeah.
So there's maybe you can take like a business course, and usually the first thing that they teach you is that whatever it costs you to make it, just charge more than that.
Yeah, but you should
make some money.
You know what they don't tell you in business school, Nick? How do you put the pudding in the pop?
Mr. B's got an MBA. I think he'll school us on some Jello pudding pops.
It could have been as simple as the cost of the freezing and storing and transport. I mean,
distribution, packaging.
You can't just throw it on a truck. You got to have it in a freezer truck. And so maybe they weren't equipped for it. And as the volume grew, they're like, I mean, we can build another factory, or we could just stop making these things.
Turns out they were paying Bill Cosby $11 million a year. So you could buy the Quaaludes and the Spanish Fly.
Yeah, that's where all their money went. It was to Bill Cosby.
Yeah. According to Yahoo, again, the research team, man, they're coming in with like the late stats here. 3,600 people a month are Googling pudding pops. What does that tell you? There's still some demand out there. Like, come on, General Foods. What are you doing? Jello. Together, man.
Big kids unite. We're stepping into the food game. We're going to get a clear energy or sports drink called Diamond. We're going to make our own. We can't be Jello brand, but it's going to taste like Jello.
Quaalude
frozen
free
treats.
Big kid pudding pop.
Quaalude-free pudding pops.
Do we go with banana? Do we mess with banana? I don't know.
I think banana's a good staple.
You want to
man.
we'll have a meeting. We'll have a meeting and discuss banana.
The swirl is more important than the banana.
The swirl is
you got to have the swirl.
That's your big dog right
We'll
there.
talk with the people at Chiquita and see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what I got, boys. We'll do honorable mentions whenever you want to do, Nick. But that's my number one, far and away, Jello pudding pops.
Fine pick, and most of the country has been experiencing 95, 96 degrees, and in some states even upwards of into the triple digits. So I'm sure that may have played a factor into Sweetwater Mark's decision making here today. Mr. B, one of the wisest individuals I've ever encountered in my entire existence. Educate us, please.
So as I looked at all those, I mean, you kind of look, there's ways to research, like, what are some discontinued ones? And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that one. And I forgot about that. But when this one popped up, I remember it. And I don't remember having it very often. But when I did, I was like, it was a super treat. So I'm going to go with pizzerias.
Pizzerias.
That sounds familiar.
They were like a pizza, like chip.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
Look it up, and you'll see.
You meant like in general pizzerias. I was like, that's a pretty.
They were called pizzerias, and they were like
shaped like a Dorito.
Yeah,
it was like a Dorito type ish chip, but it was like pizza flavored. And I don't even know how long they were out, but I remember getting them a handful of times as a kid, and I was like, these are delicious. And yeah, they're gone.
And they're gone.
But pizzerias was my jam. A close second was Butterfinger BBs.
Yes, I almost had them on my list.
Do you remember those? They were just Butterfingers, but they were like almost like milk dud shape with Butterfinger inside. I don't know how long they made those, but those were my close second with Butterfinger BBs.
Oh, buddy, those were delicious.
Super delicious. Love me some
Pizzerias
Butterfinger.
were pretty good too, especially if you had ice cold Pepsi to wash them down.
Mm-hmm. Coca-Cola, you mean?
I'm just proud. I'm just proud that you guys neither of you picked the energy drink from The Office that comes in regular and coconut penis flavors.
Coconut penis.
Well, do you mind if I rattle off my two quick honorable mentions here?
I
Big
didn't even
Nicks?
get to say mine, but go ahead.
I know. Before we get away, well, Mr. B's dropping his over here. I figure we're not going to get back to it most likely. You guys remember the Sobe drinks?
Yep.
This isn't really a junk food.
Yeah,
but the Sobe drinks. There was a white one and a pink one, the lizard juice. That stuff was delicious. Last one, McDonald's apple pie.
Those went away?
Yeah.
Those
I think they still make them. I think the difference is the one you're thinking of.
Though?
Well, they used to deep fry them.
Yeah, see, I'm talking about the old deep fried version.
I think they deep fried them because I remember getting one not too long ago, and it was garbage
with the insides that are, as one website I saw put it, as hot as plutonium.
Yeah, it was nuclear. Like you bite into it and you claw.
They are baked for a week. Apple pies now, and they're probably terrible. I've not had one in years. You know what? I think I'm with you. I think I randomly ordered one about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was like,
did the same.
What happened? And I was like, oh, I just grew up. And no, they changed what they were doing.
Because I think they were deep fried. So anything deep fried is always going to be a little bit better.
Absolutely. So sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to.
No, do not apologize. That's a good choice. That's a good pick, because if somebody offered me a deep fried McDonald's apple pie right now, I would say, could you give me about 45 seconds and we can continue this conversation?
Exactly. And then you'd be talking like this.
Yeah, because those sometimes you'd burn yourself with the apple filling because you couldn't wait to dig into them. All right, I'm going one. This is a little more of, I guess, I didn't plan this. Question number one, I went a little more Sweetwater Mark. Question number two, I'm going a little more into Mr. B's dangerous West Side Cincinnati neighborhood.
Welcome to the dark side.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
I went with Doritos Sonic Sour Cream. You guys, they came in the green bag.
I don't even think I had those.
And I think they only sold those in the individual size bags, like the 3.5 ounce bags. Like I don't,
travel bags.
I don't think they ever made them in the family size or the larger bags, but there was a time that I worked at a gas station and those were regularly on the shelves. Like we had a big carry out convenience store inside, and we had those on the shelf all the time. And I think I tried them one day just because of the artistry of the bag, right? It was like this like neon green bag with like pink, and I think they were maybe $1 back then for a single bag. And those babies were delicious. Sonic sour cream Doritos. And I did a little search engine action on them earlier today. And it looks like there's people on Reddit that are like openly discussing and trying to campaign for Doritos to bring these back. But I loved them. And here's a little pro tip, or maybe it just shows you how Big Nick likes to double indulge. But for some reason, these babies, like I used to love to dip them into, I would love to dip them into like picante salsa.
Oh,
like,
there you go.
Everything's better with picante salsa.
Yeah. But Sonic sour cream Doritos, like bring them back for like a season, right? Maybe for the NFL season.
Or what you do is you get some regular Doritos, just dip them in sour cream. Boom.
Yeah, but where does the Sonic come from? I need the Sonic action. Right? It's not just sour cream, my friend. It's Sonic. Name. Yeah. So that's the Big Nick pick. That quality. One, beautiful. You know I don't. Looking back, I think those went away before I could ever consume those with beer. My God. I've not lived yet, boys. I've not even lived yet.
Nope. You're just a baby.
just a baby. He's got his whole life ahead of him. All right. All right. Now we get to the good stuff. The nectar of the gods, my friends. All right.
Nectar.
Sweetwater Maki. Favorite adult indulgence drink. So this could be like a frozen cocktail, an after dinner drink. Some people like the coffee or dessert drinks with alcohol in them. We're going to have a little bit of alcohol in these babies. All right. Sweetwater Mark, what you going to order? You got the bartender at your disposal. He or she says, I can make you whatever you want, Sweetwater.
So before I give mine here real quick, boys, I do want to give a quick shout out because
please delay as long as possible.
I will. If I'm not mistaken, this episode was inspired by one of our listeners, Wes. Yes, so I would like to give Wes a giant shout out. Long-time listener.
Shout out, Wes.
A lot of support. Wes, this whole episode's for you, buddy. Yes, on to my beverage. So my beverage is actually somewhat popular in probably what some would argue maybe one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest comedies of all time. Especially, when people are horsing around and you have to remind them there's a beverage involved, man.
I knew you were going to go with that drink.
The Lebowski, the White Russian, is my absolute favorite sweet drink. I'm not a big sweet alcohol drink guy. Like there's not much that wets my whistle when it comes to sweet drinks. But my dad was actually the one that introduced me to the White Russian, and it's perfect. Like I don't know if I could ask for any more perfect drink. It's got a little bit of the coffee. It's sweet, but it's not like too sweet. And you can kind of change your portions as you make your homemade version. You want it a little whiter, you want it a little darker. However you want to do it. Doesn't matter. White Russian is absolutely delicious.
Mark, if you remember, I think it was 2003 was the year that you and I took down a lot of White Russians.
Yes, we did.
We were into White Russians at the same time.
Yep.
I don't know. It was just really weird. We're we're just like, yep, you got all the White Russian stuff. We had like a little mini bar in our apartment. And it was just all strictly made for making White Russians only.
It was like a White Russian station.
Yeah, you two were like the Germans in World War II. Mark's father was like, hey, I want to introduce you to a White Russian. And Mark's like, what's her name?
Is she here? Let me go pretty up. Yeah,
good pick, buddy.
I love that drink, man. Honestly, it's so fantastic. Because my issue with a lot of sweet drinks is a lot of them you can only have one. Now, it's not like you can have like 6 White Russians, which you could.
I hope not.
But I mean, you could have 2 or 3 as long as, the sugar's mainly coming from the
Kahlua.
Yeah.
And, I guess the milk technically, has some sugar in there as well. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. Gotta love some white
Nailed
Russian.
it.
There's a beverage involved, man.
There's a beverage involved, man.
Give us the money, Lebowski.
The rug really tied together the whole room. All right. There's so many quotes that we can't say, we should not say on this show. Yeah. There's one in particular that I'm thinking of right now. All right. Anyway, B, indulge us with your favorite adult indulgence drink.
So this one, I ordered it on vacation one time, and my dad just started shaking his head.
Of course,
yeah, your dad is so anti-sweet drink.
Father
I can see the look on his face right now.
Father B, he gave the look of, you've disappointed me for the 1200th time, son.
So this one, it's super delicious. I think even the first time I had it was only maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, but it's called a Dirty Monkey.
Oh,
Dirty
God.
So has banana, pineapple, a little bit of coconut, rum, Kahlua, and then inside the cup they put like chocolate syrup and whipped cream.
Oh my God.
So it's almost like a rum milkshake if they make it right.
Wow.
So
that sounds rich.
That's my super indulgent one. Again, one of those things where like, yeah, you're going to have 2 of those, probably not. But yeah. I remember having a few of those on my honeymoon, and I was like, these are delicious.
That's all right, though, man. There's nothing wrong with just a drink that you want one of, and you're good to go.
The time I ordered it on vacation, not only did I order it, and he shook my head, but they brought it out, and it was in like the yard glass with like a huge banana sticking out of it. Yeah. And it was a spectacle of a drink. Took that thing down, no problem.
Your dad looked at you with eyes of shame.
Yep. And then I tried to wrestle him.
Mr. B's father was born with hair on his chest, and he drank a bottle of bourbon as an infant to nurse him for nutrients, so his little man body could grow. I tell you what, what would be a great topic for this show is if me and Mr. B would create a list of disappointments that we deliver to our fathers, because our fathers are very similar. So much similar in personality that they almost got into a fist fight one time.
True story.
Yeah, in front of children. Hilarious. In front of children, they almost got in a fist fight. But hey, that's just men being men. God bless America. All right, favorite adult indulgence drink for Big Nick. I'm gonna go. Look, I'm with Mark here. I love that Mark said with a lot of these, you don't really want to have maybe. I usually can go 2 on this one, and then I got to switch it, and I want to switch it to something strong after about 2 of these, because the sugar level on these has got to be almost to the level of Juji fruits, I'm sure. But I went with Miami Vice. You guys ever get a Miami Vice where it's
I've heard of drink? Describe it to me, Big Nick.
So it's a frozen drink, and if you look it up online, most of like liquor.com and a few of the other fine bartender websites and alcohol websites devoted to alcohol websites will tell you that a Miami Vice, it's basically, 2 frozen drinks, a strawberry daiquiri and pina colada layered on top of each other. Yep. Now, however, the first time I ever had one, I believe it was in a pint glass or that shape of glass anyway. And the bartender, the 2 spouts, right? The daiquiri spout and the pina colada spout were next to each other. So he just let both of them flow side by side. And so you would see the yellow of the pina colada on one side and the strawberry daiquiri red on the other side. And so while these websites say and suggest that the proper way to make it is to layer them on top of one another, that's got a beautiful look to it. I'm not going for it for the look, baby. I want the taste, right? All Big Nick, get rid of the dyes, make it a clear drink.
Get rid of the dyes.
I like it side by side because I can take the straw and move it from side to side. Get me a little pina colada by itself. Get me a little daiquiri by itself. Stick it right in the middle. Have a little bit of both. So
living the dream.
That's my favorite. Some people get it with a little whipped cream, maybe a cherry on top, I don't need the whipped cream. I don't want the cherry. Give me a little slice of pineapple on the side right there.
And Big Nick, every time he orders it, he wears a white suit jacket, rolls the sleeves up, and he says, "Hey Tubbs, let's get a Miami Vice."
Yeah, I like to go. I like to go whitewashed jeans with a white T-shirt under a teal colored blazer. That's the way I roll.
Yeah,
that's the way I roll. Flat top. Got the flat top on top.
Ooh, shakalaka.
Look like a total asshole.
1989 called. They want you back, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep, they're waiting for you.
I order a Miami Vice frozen drink and sloppy steaks. If anybody knows that joke, that's a whole new level. All right. All right. Sloppy steaks. It's just steak and you just pour water on top of it. Anyway. All right. Here we go. I love guys. We talked about junk food, but there was no junk in our answers. These were all perfect answers by three perfect individuals. Once again, we nailed it. We nailed it once again for the 173rd time. I have no idea how many episodes we've done because
pretty close.
I've been drunk for half of them. All right. Gentlemen, you are two of my favorite people to talk to. Everybody out there listening, you are all of my favorite people as well. All of this information that you just heard here today, that's just all proof that we are all just big kids.
I open that door so slowly, take a peek up north and south. Then I pull out a Hostess Twinkie and I pop it in my mouth. Yeah, in the daytime I'm Mr. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. But at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. Well, at lunchtime, you can always find me at the Whole Earth Vitamin Bar, just sucking on my plain white yogurt from a hand-thrown pottery jar, and sipping a little hand-pressed cider with a carrot stick for dessert.